Hey, it's Flannel Boy. Now I can only go through so much internet ridicule without getting to One Direction, and also their arch nemesis, The Wanted. Now, I don't have a dog in this fight, and I don't particularly despise either one. Come on, you internet people, you're just a bunch of haters. That's what you are, you're a bunch of haters. But it got me wondering, when did boy bands turn from the traditional 90s style of boy banding to the One Direction style? And is there really a difference between the two? I was actually afraid the answer was no when I started analyzing the two different eras because I really liked boy bands when they were around the first time. Quit y'all hating! Yes, I know I'm a flannelhead who's devoted to replacing the modern brand of pop music with the return of rock songs, but that doesn't mean I hate pop music. I'm pretty sure I've demonstrated taste for some of the popular new wave acts, and even pop punk gets me excited. So it should come as no surprise to you that I like a pop group that's actually talented, even if they don't write their own material. If I were to go into the whole history of boy bands, I'd be forced to go all the way back to the Everly Brothers, and I'm not particularly interested in doing that. I'm much more interested in those that originated in the late 80s and were all the rage by the late 90s. New Kids on the Block and Boyz II Men are generally considered to be the start of the trend, but as the 90s wore on, the New Jack Swing angle died out and was replaced by electronic production, which was all the rage at the time. Here's where I find the difference between the two. The new and old boy bands are produced very, very differently. I could respect a song like Glad You Came for its writing and even forgive its lack of harmonic voices.
Seriously?
Seriously, I thought it was just a solo artist at first. But the production sounds like David Guetta on the cheapest synth set available. EDM has completely ruined how pop music makes a decent beat, and as a result we're left with a machine-like wash of noise instead of music. Among other things, this is one of my main grievances about pop music as a whole today. Listen to this Backstreet Boys song.
I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you did, as long as you love me.
Cool, calm, sweet. Now listen to this.
Let's go crazy, crazy, crazy till we see the sun. I know we only met, but let's pretend.
Is this the song or the remix? You could dance to either one, but this one doesn't sound as sincere because of it. It really kills the feel for me. As for the harmony thing, yeah, I can live without it, but I don't really like calling it a boy band if they don't have harmonies. That's pretty exclusive to the 90s type of boy band though, and I think that's just the new Jack Swing influence of earlier bands. So forgive me for being a fanboy, but at my age, what did you expect I would listen to? I mean, can you imagine my parents CD shopping for me when I was 6? Let's see.
You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off.
Oh, no, too violent. Now let's try.
Hi kids, do you like violence? Wanna see me stick 9-inch nails to each one of my eyelids?
Oh dear, that's far too profane. No. How about...
My age, what's my age again? What's my age again?
Don't want him to lose several IQ points. What about this? Closer, but maybe when he's a bit older. Aha, in sync. And as for the boy band wars, well, though I was somebody who owned both a copy of Millennium and No Strings Attached, I didn't end up listening to Millennium at all, so... Alright, this is why I'm firmly on the NSYNC side. Did the Backstreet Boys have the funky beats? No way. Did they do an awesome cover of Johnny Kemp's Just Got Paid? Nope. Did they have Justin Mother-lovin' Timberlake? No. Did they have the guy who sang that song about his teeth in Fairly Odd Parents? Hell no. Yeah, I know I complained a lot about the Fairly Odd Parents, but I was just hating. That show had its moments. But No Strings Attached was my jam the year 2000. They had the funk, they had the expert production, they had the best songwriters, they all had great voices, and they had all the personality they needed in the form of Justin Timberlake. Not that I hated the Backstreet Boys either, they had the harmonies and dancing too, and a couple of hits that I still groove to, most notably I Want It That Way. And while none of this is particularly thoughtful music, pop doesn't need to be, and it doesn't mess it up in any of the numerous ways pop may be messed up. Unfortunately, NSYNC didn't last very long, and the Backstreet Boys had more of a gradual fade-out. Now, to understand how we got where we are now, you have to understand the dynamics of one company. Yes, Disney! Now, Disney can be credited with creating the two big boy bands in the 90s. I mean, it's no coincidence that both of them have their origins in Orlando, Florida, when most of the pop music we know comes from
California.
Most of these guys sang for Disney as kids, especially Justin and JC. And, Britney, whose voice I hate. Moving on. So the real prominent 2000s boy band was the Jonas Brothers, who didn't have harmonies in the production of a Disney Channel show. This led predictably into what One Direction would become. So my date is August 7th, 2007. That was the release of the Jonas Brothers' second album. This is well after Disney started featuring them in movies, they were on Hannah Montana, all that. But see, here's the thing. They had a debut album. A debut album that sounded like this.
I am what I am, I can't help myself. And if you don't like it, get with somebody else. I'll never change my ways, it's not a phase. This is how it is and this is how it's gonna stay because I am.
So a few things about this are weirding me out. One, the Jonas Brothers sound like Simple Plan or Good Charlotte, and the reasons those come readily to mind is because Gil Kaufman of MTV said that boy bands were going to sound more like Simple Plan or Good Charlotte and less like NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys around 2000 or 2003. Then there's the fact that this song was written by Adam Schlesinger. He was the songwriter of Fountains of Wayne. Besides writing Stacy's Mom and all the other Fountains of Wayne songs, they are not one-hit wonders, and I will not hear anybody telling me that. He also wrote That Thing You Do for the Tom Hanks film, co-wrote the song High School Never Ends for Bowling for Soup, and scored like a dozen movies. He's currently in a band with Taylor Hanson and James Iha, that Japanese guy in the Smashing Pumpkins. He's a Jersey boy with a New York wit and a gift for making great pop-punk melodies along with very modern-life, clever, sarcastic lyrics. He is awesome. What is he doing writing for the Jonas Brothers? So the Jonas Brothers weren't always what you know them as, and I reiterate what I've said before, Disney does awful things to people. They made the Jonas Brothers into what you see them as today. But I can't blame Disney for what really ruined One Direction. EDM production. The 2010s have shown us awful dance stuff, and none of the boy bands had that magic they did before with the harmonies and all. This combination has led to the difference between the two eras. And all the old guard are pretty much gone. It's going to be a long while before NSYNC get back together, although Justin Timberlake is still one of the coolest people in the pop music and acting worlds today. The Backstreet Boys are still not making huge hits anymore, and they've been combined with New Kids on the Block to make NKOTBSB. Don't ask me what the first B stands for, I don't know. The point is, those days are done, and this is what boy bands are now. A true shame, of course, but my show thrives on stuff like this. 2007, the year boy bands jumped the shark.